Hello, Providence Day parents and others that may be watching this video. This is Dr. Wes Fryer. Today's November 11th, 2024. And this week, we are starting what I call our Froot Loop Conspiracy Theories unit. And this is a very engaging and exciting and relevant unit for us today because there are some really wild and crazy conspiracy theories that are out there on the internet that we want to watch out for. And so I'm sharing this video to let you know a little bit about this project. I'll be sharing the link both in the description of this video and the email that I'll be sending you as parents. And I think the number one thing that I want to share with you is that the purpose of this unit is not to indoctrinate students into a particular political viewpoint. That is absolutely not the point. The point is to really encourage critical thinking and to help students avoid rabbit holes that they could fall into that are just kind of wild and crazy. And today, as I was introducing this with one of my class sections, I was telling them that, when I was in middle school in the early 1980s, we didn't have the internet. There was no YouTube, there was no TikTok, there wasn't any of this. And I didn't share that to say it was a better time, but in some ways it was, I don't think, quite as complicated a time. And I think today we have so much information coming at us from so many different sources that we really need to talk about skills of deciding who it is and what sources we can trust and how do we figure that out. So in this unit, students are going to be making animations like this one that I made today in Canva, making some info pics, so some pictures that have some text as well as some graphics with them. Some of them might be animated. We're also making sketchnotes. We've been sketchnoting and learning about using our iPads and our stylus to take notes that are visual, that have not only text, but images in them that we draw. And we're going to be watching a series of 3 videos. So this first video is by a YouTuber who is a cartoon animator, and it's called James Rallison. He's the Odd Ones Out. And so we watch his video called Conspiracies and Crazy People. And we talk about how there are conspiracy theories out there. And I tell the kids, I will not tell you that that there's never been a true conspiracy. There are things that people keep in secret, and sometimes it's even the government, and there are things that we find out later they really happen. But when it comes to people who are really paranoid, who are really distrustful, and sort of see a boogeyman or, a bad actor underneath every rock, those are folks that I would consider to be kind of way out there that we want to be careful about. And he uses some examples in that video, like people who think all doctors are, could solve all problems, but they just want to keep patients. And, people that think, they're being constantly followed and that, the government's after them. There are situations like that where people have different challenges and different issues, but people that are distrustful of everything and everybody might be believing in what I would call a Froot Loop conspiracy theory. So that's our first lesson. We're going to also be watching a video by a YouTuber who turns out to be a comedian. His name is Sears, and he talks about 13 reasons the moon landing was faked. And so he is making this case. Now we'll talk about how he's a YouTuber, and is he doing this perhaps for likes? We can't know what someone's intention is, but we're going to use something called the SIFT Web Literacy Framework. And we're going to learn that when we encounter information, especially from a source that's unfamiliar, or from something that might get us kind of upset, or we might feel our emotions are being activated, we need to stop. That's the S in SIFT. We need to investigate the source. We need to try and find trusted coverage and find out what is trusted coverage? Why would we trust something over something else? And then lastly, tracing to the original, if we can find that. And so after watching that YouTuber who tells us that the moon landing was faked, we will watch another video by a man named S.G. Collins, who's a filmmaker who has a lot of expertise in film and how special effects work. And he'll be explaining why it was technically impossible in 1969 to fake the landing on the moon. And so in the process of these projects, and students are going to then create a video about it, I really hope that they're going to deepen their ability to interrogate a source, to be able to say, wait a minute, who's the source? And rather than just reading what that source, what that organization or that person says about themselves, what can we laterally read? What can we read on other sources about that source? And then decide, does this sound like a trustworthy source? And in doing so, I hope students will be able to avoid these Fruit Loop conspiracies, these really crazy, outlandish conspiracy theories, and really develop their web literacy and their ability to be savvy citizens and savvy researchers, both as students in school and as citizens in our country and our world. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. This will be a fun unit, but hopefully it's going to be a really productive unit as far as developing these media literacy skills, which are so important today. Thanks so much.